What he was yearning and agonizing over was that he knew there was going to be a disconnect for a moment from his Father. He knew the minute that he went to that cross and those sins were put upon him, that he would cry out and his God couldn't be in that same place because he knew that he'd have to bear the weight of the sin of the world and that God couldn't be present for that. He wasn't crying because he wasn't agonizing because he didn't want to go to the cross for you. He was agonizing because he knew it meant separation from the Father. That is when you've been keeping watch. That's when you understand something a little bit different. And he says, please take this cup of suffering away from me. And he says, I want your will to be done, not mine. You say, how do I know if I'm alert? How do I know if I'm keeping watch? How do I know when these things, and this is what God is saying. He is saying, listen, don't tell me you will never because I know what it's going to be. But if you want to walk in me, you got to be alert of what's around you. Don't keep falling for this relationship that says it loves you and cares for you, but yet it wants to be so physical when you know that that's actually the very thing tearing at your core when you haven't committed your life to that person. You're not committed to the longevity and what God has for you, but yet you're committed to the physical relationship. Like, don't fall for that whenever that's not the heart of God. Don't fall for this financial planner and all this stuff that's saying this is what you do with your money, and you're not even giving it to God. That's not where you start. You start with giving it to God, and then you move out from there. Don't fall for the marriage that says, well, we're here, we're together now, whenever you know that it's abusive and it's tearing you apart, and there's no repentance, there's no care. Be alert and look out on what's around you. Look out. Be alert, and God is saying, this is what I want, and Jesus says, this cup of suffering is too much. How many of you in your lives, and this is again rhetorical, but you say, this cup of suffering right now may just be too much in my life. I'm overwhelmed. I am overwhelmed with anxiety. I am overwhelmed with the things that are going on around me. You can stay numb your whole life, and you'll stay numb until you die, and you'll never fulfill what God has. You're saying, well, I just don't care. And you will live a life that looks like that, constantly trying to reach up to get out of the pool so that you can stop from being wet all the time and feel like you're drowning, and that'll be your entire life. God has abundance. How do I get that? You got to say, not my will.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any new content or videos, and tell all your friends. Also, we're here live every Sunday. We'll see you soon.